International Drug Policy Consortium, IDPC. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me the floor. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the International Drug Policy Consortium, a global network of 195 NGOs, welcomes the UN System Common Position supporting the implementation of the international drug control policy through effective interagency collaboration and the establishment of the UN System Coordination Task Team within the framework of the Secretary-General's Executive Committee. Together with the Transnational Institute, we have published a briefing paper, there are copies available here on the NGO table, that reconstructs the history of the UN Common Position and the decades-long efforts to improve UN system-wide coherence on this complex issue. In our briefing paper, we address some of the misconceptions about the nature of the UN Common Position and clarify the mandates and responsibilities of the specialized drug control entities vis-à-vis the rest of the UN system. Some member states have expressed concerns that the UN Common Position may undermine the primary role of the CND as the UN policy-making body, and that the task team creates a parallel mechanism that infringes upon the leading roles of the INCB and the UNODC within the UN drug control system, and for those reasons have objected to the inclusions of specific references in resolutions. In our view, the Common Position and the task team are not parallel mechanisms, nor do they undermine the Vienna mandates. Instead, they represent a necessary and long overdue correction which aims to bring the Vienna-based drug control entities and the rest of the UN family into alignment. The leading role of the Vienna entities was never meant to become a silo. It was explicitly meant to be a coordinating role in close collaboration with the other UN agencies and governing bodies. After several previous attempts to enhance system-wide coherence over the past decades, that siloed culture has grown over time here in Vienna and needed to be rectified. In many ways, the 2016 UNGAS set the stage for the UN Common Position. The General Assembly, in its resolution 69/201, provided all UN entities and specialized agencies with a clear mandate to fully contribute to the UNGAS process. The UNGAS thus provided an opportunity to broaden the debate by including all UN organizations that approach drugs issues from health, sustainable development, human rights, and peace-building perspectives, and to promote system-wide coherence with respect to global drug control. The UN Common Position, adopted in November 2018 by the Chief Executive's Board for Coordination, the CEB, is also a response to structural UN reform efforts and the adoption of the SDGs as a new global overarching framework, which required a more coordinated strategy for the whole UN system. From the UN's inception, member states recognized that discrepancies within the UN system could appear. To reduce this risk, in 1946, ECOSOC mandated the Secretary-General to establish a coordination mechanism. Over time, discrepancies between certain drug control practices and the overarching aims of health promotion, social justice, sustainable development, human rights protection, and peace building have become more apparent. And some of those contradictions are rooted in incompatible objectives between the UN drug control system and the UN human rights regime. This recognition was the foundation for the Secretary-General and the CEB to take measures to address the lack of coherence. Furthermore, the Common Position is based on a strong mandate given by the General Assembly to the CEB and the Secretary-General to improve system-wide coherence, incorporating many elements from the 2016 UNGAS, the SDG framework, and human rights instruments that have all been adopted by member states. The Common Position predominantly uses language that has previously been agreed by member states and only in a very few paragraphs goes beyond agreed CND language, especially where it refers to harm reduction and decriminalization. This is for obvious reasons, as the Common Position is not a politically negotiated document, but reflects language commonly used by UN entities. The Common Position and the Task Team are hard-won achievements that provide unprecedented authoritative guidance for UN entities and can help guide the current drug control system into the 21st century. On the ground through the new resident coordinator system and at the global level to overcome the siloed approach. The task team can play a pivotal role to improve effective interagency cooperation and coordinated data collection from all relevant UN entities to promote scientific, evidence-based implementation of the international commitments. Finally, we call on Member States to actively support the work of the task team, ensure references to it in resolutions, and promote that drug-related issues continue to appear on the agenda of other UN forums, including the General Assembly, ECOSOC, the World Health Assembly, and the Human Rights Council, and ensure that all relevant UN entities, including UNODC, actively promote the UN Common Position. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.